Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to try something new. Instead of just showing you one farm, I'm going to show you 5 different farms that all excel in different areas to give you some idea how you can farm Propagules. Farm number 1 is the manual one that I only included to explain the principle. So in order to farm those mangrove Propagules, you need to get those mangrove leaves first by either silk touching them or using your shears. Alright, and then in order to grow them, you need to bone meal the leaves. And you get this first stage propagule, and then all you gotta do is basically wait until they're fully grown. So you could just run it through and bone meal all the leaves. And then it's just a matter of waiting a couple minutes. They actually grow really quickly. It takes about 4 to 5 minutes on average for them to grow. After about 10 minutes, you could expect that about 90% of them have fully grown. And then to harvest them, just run through and punch them out with your fist. You don't need any tool. But good that Mojang added some functionality to automate the process. We can also use dispensers to bone meal the leaves and use pistons to harvest the propagules. Okay, farm number 2 here is the compact one. I tried to make a propagule farm as compact as possible while having all functionality, so proper on-off switch and harvesting. Alright, so let's turn this one on. This uses a hopper pressure plate clock, which has a duration of roughly 1 second, so which is quite useful because we need to bone meal the propagule in total 4 times until it's fully grown. So the timing works out almost perfectly. Once it's fully grown, piston would harvest it and it would land in the barrel here. So just need to refill dispensers here with bone meal, and then you could run this as long as you want. And of course, you can also nicely turn it off. We just raise the observer here to turn off the observer clock and power the other piston here as well to turn off the minecart pressure plate clock. I tried my best to make it as compact as possible, but with stuff like this, the hive mind always beats the individual. So in case you know how to make this even more compact, maybe share it on Twitter with me. I would be definitely interested. Farm number 3 is the fast one. I've already made a separate video about this with tutorial, but I quickly want to show it again. So here I just tried to make the process as fast and simple as possible. So instead of just using 2 dispensers, we use 5. So all the steps basically happen in the same tick. We bone meal the leaves, bone meal the propagules 4 times. In the same tick, the piston breaks them. Hopper minecart collects the items and everything goes into a chest. And we get up to 300 propagules per minute. One downside of this farm in particular is that it's directional, so you need to build it in a certain order. But I also made another design that is not directional. So here it wouldn't matter how you build it, would always work. And this basically has the same rates, just needs a couple more blocks to make sure the update order is right. Another downside of this design here, that it's not really that nice to look at. You don't even see what's going on, and yeah, it's also not really a nice shape. So that's why I also made design number 4, the fancy or good looking one. So here we have a nice sequence growing the propagules and also breaking them with a nice sequence. So this is definitely a bit nicer to look at, but it's also quite decently fast. You can see here, got a lot of items incoming. Redstone on the back is still quite compact. There's plenty of storage for bone meal. Got those observer lines or chains here to get this nice looking sequence. And the other items are collected with the hopper minecart here. Alright, I think this is quite good looking. And also not too complicated, to be honest. And here we have design number 5, which is the most bone meal efficient one. But unfortunately, when it comes to the building materials, also the most expensive one and also the largest one. Right, so let's check it out. So here we have a flying machine that harvests the propagules at the bottom. They're all just collected by the water stream. Gets sent to a chest. And then we got another flying machine that is launched afterwards at the top. They would activate all of those dispensers here to grow the new ones. Also, there are hopper minecarts on top of honey blocks, so the hoppers can grab new bone meal and resupply it to the dispensers. At the holding station, the hopper minecarts themselves also get resupplied with bone meal through the hopper chain. The propagules also grow really fast. Only takes about 8 to 10 minutes, so most of them have fully grown to the last stage and they can be harvested again. So I'm using just a normal hopper cloak that is fully filled with items and 1 T flip-flop. So the flying machine is activated at every second activation of the hopper cloak here. So roughly every about 8.5 minutes. One downside of course is that you need 1 hopper each to refill those droppers here, which is not that great because you need to spend a lot of iron, and each of those hoppers cause a tiny bit of lag, which would add up in the end. In order to get a decent output, you would probably need to make this even larger so you could keep up with your potential mangrove tree farm. We have to see how those will work. So you would need to make this even larger probably in order to keep up. And there's a bit of a downside that we don't have the movable tile entities yet. It would be so much nicer if we could push those dispensers around and cover the whole farm either with a row of dispensers or even make some kind of machine where a single dispenser would cover everything. But unfortunately don't have movable block entities yet in the game. The last thing I want to show is a farm that is unfortunately not a really good idea because it would stop working at some point. So you can also make a farm where you just bone meal the leaf block and then let the propagule grow by itself until it has fully grown. You can keep track of the growth stages of the propagule. So it has 4, as you can see here, aged 4. And you just have a counter here in the back. And once it's fully grown, it will be harvested. But there's one flaw with this. It's random ticked. So it can happen that the propagule grows 2 stages in a time where the observer can't pick up 2 separate signals. So here it just grew and then the bone milled again, and now the farm would already be broken. Okay, you could of course now add a clock that every, I would say 5 hours or so, resets the counter in the back and breaks the propagule or something like that, but would get a little bit complicated. It's probably better to just use the flying machine tag here. Alright, that's all for today. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!